All right, guys, can you just type in here if you can hear me and if you can see me? Uh, can you just type in here if you can hear me and if you can see me? All right, cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So we had a bit of a choppy day. I'm looking at SPY here on the 5 minute chart. So basically going into today, what we thought was going to be a nice green day where the market kind of moved back up. We had this gap up, right, but then the Zach posted that news this morning from the German PMI. I guess the numbers weren't really good, right? So that's when we experienced like this sell off, and then just kind of like chopped around, and then finally went back up. I want you to notice, look at the first thing that we're going to look at is this volume, right? Compared to every other day last week, we traded on like extremely low volume today, which kind of sucks. It made the spreads for a lot of stocks not really worth trading. But what I really want to get into is like what happened after hours. So Powell talked last week, and I gave a whole breakdown, like basically play by play of what was going on and what was being said in the Fed meeting. And there was nothing really said in the Fed meeting that was negative, right, towards the market. I mean, and the economy in general, everything seemed uh, pretty good to go. He did mention that they had a backup, like a contingency plan in case of a recession, but that was a question that was more so asked by a reporter than something that he brought up. But one of the things that he did mention that would affect the markets is the global economy, right? So the news with the German PMI and trade. So the market did move up. We did get this pop after hours. The thing is, it just didn't happen while we were able to trade. So what this jumped up from was the Vice Premier Liu mentioned that he's going to be traveling to Washington to talk about trade. It's a China trade talks basically. So that's good news, right? So the market's reacting to that and pumping up. So I think that I mean hopefully I'm hoping that we kind of come back down to around these levels that we closed at, and then the market just takes off in the morning. But again, these uh, these meetings, they can cause all types of different reactions. So we need to see. I mean, it could very well be we could very well see like a big gap up, and then all of a sudden we're going to sell off in the morning. It kind of seems to be the thing that's been happening lately. Unfortunately, like all the news comes out either after hours or pre-market, and we don't get a chance to catch these moves. But so with that being said, I think the market's going to have this stuff priced in. If not, then that's going to be great for us because what will happen is we can see this low volume possibly pick up tomorrow, right? And so we'll see the momentum stocks start to move. Things that had sold off previously will start to come back to life, or maybe they'll dump, depending on really how the market reacts. So those are the main things that I wanted to talk about. And this right here is great for the market as far as moving up goes. But I want to get into like a couple of different stocks. So MU, right? Micron is one that we've kind of been talking about. they have earnings this week, and they're in the chip sector. So stocks such as like Nvidia and Roku could very well be affected. But I don't know actually with Roku. I mean, I think looking at this, we could see like a little bit more of a consolidation period, kind of how we saw here before we see any real movement. Um, this one actually, I took an L on this one today, thinking that thinking that we were gonna go up. We're gonna break this level here, break this pre-market high here, and start to fill this gap. And unfortunately, even the watch list, I said 115. See, there's my alert set here. 115 was the trigger to take this thing long, and I did. I took a starter position right at the top, man, and it just came down on me. So I was like, okay, and this did exactly what I even said it probably would do, is move sideways. So, I have my alert set here. I think that alert still will be in play. I have my trend line drawn here. I think that'll be in play. But more than likely, I feel like this is probably just going to consolidate around for a little bit. Um, Zach mentioned a trade oh, on Disney, and cancel that. So Disney, I like Disney long term, regardless. But we have like a key level of support that we're sitting at. So if I even go back further and draw this line, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we've hit this zone and bounced. So I took a position here, starter position, 2 contracts. I am swing trading it, and right now, because of the market moving up, it's looking good, right? So the key level for Disney, I think, to hold will be this 130, 131, 132 level. Somewhere in this range. If it starts to get down here, I'll probably just cut my losses. But I do plan to probably swing trade this at least for a few days. Maybe, I mean, depending on the movement tomorrow. Like I said, if we have a nice gap up, I might just sell off in the morning. We'll see. Reyes posted about AXP. So they had a huge spike here. Um, what they had that came out on news was a dividend raise and a buyback. So they bought back 20% of their float, which caused this move up. And I've been watching. See, I have this trend line drawn here. I've been watching AXP for a while now, and I think it's kind of ironic. This seems to happen quite a lot. Um, Stocks or companies will wait until they're like right at a support level, and then they just get back in, and it just takes off. So I'm really not only does this chart look good technically, because we're still holding over the 200 EMA, and we have this is a bullish engulfing candle right here on the daily from that move up. Um, I'd like to see I'd like to see this thing continue up and break this downtrend line here, for a further move up, maybe even up to the 50 EMA here, around the 120 level. So AXP will be on watch for me tomorrow. Disney will be on watch for me tomorrow. MU will be on watch for me tomorrow. Shopify is another one. Um, we have an inverted hammer candle here, which is really not not a good signal to take this thing long. So I'll be kind of looking for a short on this. But again, with the market moving up, this thing may reclaim, and you could see momentum coming back into these stocks, and who knows? I mean, from here it could really go either way. But I'm leaning short biased on Shopify. It didn't, because of the market this morning. It did this chop around, and so it didn't quite fall as far as I thought it would. I thought it would be a short right out of the gates down to 300. That's what I was looking for today. So this chop, it actually cleared the long level by enough to make a profit, and then did this chop thing before fading off for the rest of the day. So Shopify will be on watch for me tomorrow. Ulta had a huge move today, and retail seem to do pretty all right today too. So I think, let me jump into the daily here. Okay, so this line extending all the way back to here, right? We had this like massive sell off from earnings, and it's kind of been doing like this consolidation, chopping around zone. But now we're starting to see this move up, and I called it out today. Twice I shorted this thing for a scalp. Once was right here. I scalped that little move down, and then it ran up, ran up, ran up, and I was looking for the next resistance zone, and I called it out in chat, 240 resistance. I took a short position here and took that all the way down to I think I exited like actually right before this. No, it was right on this drop. I didn't bring it all the way down to VWAP. I did. I took it right at the drop at this candle. But this will be on watch for me tomorrow. I'd like to see it. If I'm taking it long, I'd like to see it above that 240 level. And once we clear that 240 level, we're looking at like 245 maybe profit target, depending on the market. We could push up to like I don't know, maybe 250. Anyways, this will be on watch, right? To basically once we get into this gap area, to start to fill that gap, and then we'll see where we head from there. Of course, all speculation and depending on how we do tomorrow. And the last stock that I want to talk about is Microsoft. So they had this. See this triangle formation here. It's like almost like an ascending triangle. It's like really bouncing around. We caught this move up, and it just came right back down, fell back into this zone. But what I like is that with the market pushing up, right? So we had this consolidation period with the market pushing up. Now we're testing this level again. So right above 140, I'll be interested in this stock. And this is all these levels are based off of right now, currently. Obviously with the market opening up at different levels, it could open up way up here, it could open up down below. I will adjust those levels in the morning, but those for right now are the plays that I will be watching. If you guys have any plays that you want me to go over, go ahead and type it into this chat area. Gates sounds sick. Yeah, go ahead and type it into this chat area here, and I'll go over it. Oh, this is stream lagging. It could be because I'm on Wi-Fi. Yeah, I like Lulu. I do like Lulu. That had a nice move. It's been kind of like using this 50 EMA here as almost as a support zone. It came down pretty close to it, and then we saw this bounce up. I'd be interested to see if we get above that level. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if we can break above probably 197 would be my level. If I put this on the watch list, I'd say 197 would be the level to take this thing long. STZ. Uh, I don't see. I've had my little triangle here drawn for a while on STZ. I don't see a play on it. Um, we've been in this consolidation zone. I mean, if I were to draw something like this, I just don't see. It has lower volume, so maybe I'd set an alert at like 208, which is pretty far away. But I'd set an alert there just to see if it moves up. Maybe it gets there tomorrow. Maybe it doesn't. But if it did, I really wouldn't expect it to break 208. But that alert would just tell me that, okay, maybe it is time to start watching this thing for a bigger move up. Because we go back to the daily chart. we at that point we would be breaking above this larger triangle that I've kind of drawn out and this smaller formation here. JPM. Yeah, I've got to not do that again. Sorry about that Wi-Fi. Next time I'll go connected. Hopefully you guys were actually able to hear what I was talking about. JPM, yeah, I got burnt by BAC last week after the Fed talk. I was expecting the banks to make a move like they did after the last Fed talk, and it just didn't happen. But what I see immediately here on JPM is this double top, and we came right back down to this support level here. Started to move back up.